Hello and welcome to another edition of Andy Shed Live. This is Series 12, episode number 14 for Sunday, the 9th of April 2023. Hello there everybody and welcome to the show. This is Andy Shed Live for this Sunday, and it's still daylight outside. I can't believe it. It needs to be daylight outside anyway because we got to go outside in a minute. But hello to everybody who is with us in the chat. We've got Penfold, we've got Miguel, we've got Christopher 2000, we've got Fat Hobbit, Keith Barrett is here, Dominic's here. Vlad Putin is here. Surely not the Vlad Putin. No, I think you spell it differently. And Wesley's here. So welcome aboard, everybody. If you are watching this but you're not in the chat, so I've not seen you in the chat, then get in there, say hi. We don't bite, honestly. It's an absolutely action-packed show for you today. We've got all sorts happening, but because we've altered the clocks now and it's daylight outside, I think we'll go outside in just a minute. Keith says clones. That sounds interesting. Yeah, we'll have the clones on in just a minute, Keith. In fact, shall we go and do it now? We'll go and do it now, shall we? Right, I need to see if I can make this magic device work. Right, hang on a minute. Because to make this work, I have got to use a fancy bit of software here that we don't use very often. That should hopefully link up, and I press this button. Right. Oh yeah, it's come on. It's come on. It looks like it's doing something. So I think we can probably go outside. How do you turn the camera around? Oh, that's it. I've turned it around. Right. We'll go outside, shall we, and see what we can do. Right. If you want to follow me, right? While we're out here, by the way. While we're out here, by the way. While we're out here, by the way, I won't be able. While we're out here, by the way, I won't be able to see the chat or interact with the chat. So bear with me. Crikey! Look a funny colour on this. I look absolutely filthy, and I'm sure I'm not. Strange colour on this camera. Right, just a very strange colour on this camera. Right. Okay. We'll go and have a look at what's in the back of the van, shall we? Right. I need the keys. And we'll go this way. Right, because as I say, I can't see the chat at the minute, and I certainly can't interact with it. So, save your question. Well, you can put them in the chat now, your questions and stuff. I'll have to read them when I come back, though, in a minute. Right, hopefully this is working. I'm never too sure if this works or not when I go walking about. But here we are. Right, and if I can open the back of the van, because I've got a van full of clones, amongst other things. Here, a van. Now, also in the back of here, there's about 80 pianola rolls. That's another story. If you're around tomorrow, there's probably going to be an extra live show tomorrow, coming to you from the radio station to show you the latest sort of progress there, and we'll be showing you the pianola as well while we're there tomorrow. But here are the clones. I'll take that out of there a minute. Put that. Is that there? Right. So yeah, it really is as jumbled up as it looks. In an old lawnmower box, it really is how it looks. Tell you anything other than that, bit of cardboard. But these phones are in a bit of a state. I mean, to me, looking at it on the screen, they don't look as dirty as they look in reality. But not only are they dirty, they are sticky. That one in particular is just, I mean, the cords and that are really sticky. But we do want to try and salvage the cords, because most of them have actually got modern day plugs on the end, so would probably work if they were plugged in. So let's have a look and see what we've got in the box, shall we? Alright, I'll turn you around and try and place you there. Right, I don't know if you're going to be able to see very well here, but we'll have a little look. Right, first up, we'll have this sticky foam. Now, if we can. Everything is very tangled up. But, yeah, so it's sticky, but it's a 746. It's, in fact, it's not. Could be an 8746. It's certainly got the handset, the pepper pot thing in the handset to be an 8746. And it's got this mega sticky cable. I can't tell you how sticky this is. It is super sticky, but it has got a proper modern day plug on the end of it. But it is mega sticky. I might take that one in and do something about it and see if I can make it a bit less sticky. Right, so that's a 746 or 8746. Nothing to write home about there. But it is a complete phone and may even work. Right, here we've got another one. So this is number 2. It's had a sticker put on the back that says 357, so that must be an extension number. It's just, again, something odd's gone on here, because the grommet is either a black or a dark blue grommet on there, on a ivory curly cord, but then the line cord itself, you know, it's got all super mega twisted. It looks like multiple times, and it's like crazy twisted up. So let me see if I can just untwist that a bit. Excuse me a moment. How has it got so twisted? Again, it's really sticky. I don't know what's on these cords, if they're somehow degrading that's made them sticky. I really don't know what's happened to them. It looks like there's something on them. But, yeah. Yeah, and it's coming off on my hands as well. Now, these are absolutely gruesomely dirty. I mean, I've seen some dirty phones. You remember a while back I posted a video about, oh, these are the dirtiest phone you've ever seen. You know something? And I don't think they were. Right, I'm going to put these on the floor for now. Right. Next. Right, this one's not got a line called fitted, so hence might not be so sticky. Again, 746. It's got a push button. 8746 again, probably. Something a bit shaky about that. That's 3 so far. Right, here's another one. I'm just kind of doing them as they come out of the box. Now, for those of you on Patreon, you may have seen a post that I did on there earlier today that tells you a little bit about these and about what we've got. And you will know already, if you're a patron and you've read that, that they are not all going to be ivory 746s or 8746s. This one's made in 1983 as an 8746, according to what's on the base there. And again, super sticky line cord. I think we're going to take one of these in and see if we can de-stickify it. See what works to make it less sticky. So there's 4. So we've got 4 so far now. Right. Here's the next one. Same story again. 746. Apparently none of these seem to be Mark 1s. They all seem to be the Mark 2 case. They all seem to be quite late ones as well. Again, 83.2 on this one. And really tangled up. They've just been like thrown in this box, I think, and forgotten about. Now the story is, the guy I got these from worked for a telecommunications company, he said. Didn't say which one, he said he used to work for a telecommunications company. And these are phones that we took out from various premises, and I kept them because I thought one day I'd do something with them, but I've never got round to it. Now, I think the company he worked for must have been Telephone Rentals, because a lot of these phones do say Telephone Rentals on a little sticker on the back. So I think it must have been Telephone Rentals. Now here we've got something. Again, I mean, this cable on this one looks black, but it isn't. It's grey, but it looks black. It's just that dirty. If I turn this around, just look at the state of that cable. Have you
ever seen a cable in such a state in your life. This one looks like it's a refurbished one. It's got the pepper pot handset there with the sort of ring around it. Some have that ring around them and some don't. This is a refurbished one by the looks of it. Teller 8746, back sample 841. So I wonder what it was originally, that one. But there you go. So we'll put that one down here as well. So how many have we got so far? We've got 6 so far on the deck. And there should be 20 in total, so I'm told. So let's keep going. Not a BT phone, and it does say telephone rentals on the back. So a topaz yellow 746 with a telephone rental sticker on it. Quite rare, even though it is just a box standard 746. Right. We've got here. Right. Now, I said that other than what I mentioned in that post on Patreon, I said they were all what's it otherwise? I said they were all come on now. I said they're all ivory, that's it. But they're not, because here we've got a grey one and we've got a grey one. It's a shame this case is cracked actually, because when I repair this case it might spoil it. But although this one is grey, you know, it really does look two-tone brown. It's discoloured almost perfectly evenly, and normally when they discolour you want to turn them back, but this has gone so evenly that it's actually quite nice two-tone brown. I quite like it. So yeah, I mean, when we do the acetone thing on that, it'll probably turn that bit there back grey, which is kind of sad because I actually quite like it discoloured, that, because it's unusual for one to go so evenly. This tells me it might not be sunlight that's done this, but it's so even. I wonder if it can happen with heat. I'm led to believe heat can make this discoloration happen as well as light, but I don't know for certain. But it's certainly interesting. It doesn't look like this has happened with sunlight because it's so even pretty much all the way around. Even under the handset as discolored. I mean, it is slightly light. The handset itself, on the bottom, look. But yeah, very strange. Something's wrong inside that. The switch hooks are down. The hook switch is down, so that one is stuck. in some way. But hey ho. More restoration projects to keep us going. And of course all of these will be restored eventually, and we'll show you more of these on the live stream tomorrow, because I think what we're going to do is take them all to the radio studio in this big box, because it's a lot easier, got a bit more space there. I can hopefully lay them all out and see what we've got. But I do want to show you some of the slightly more unusual ones that we've got here. So we will start with this. Now this is what I saw in the box when it was listed on eBay, and is basically why I put a bid on, because I just happened to see this peeping out of the box. Now I don't know how well you can see this, but this is a green 746, but it's not a 746. If you look closer at it, if I put it back in the box a minute, pick up the camera again, you'll see it's got a numeric only dial surround, and although I believe it's a dial 21 because of the finger stop with the straight edge on it, straight side on it, it's got a metal finger wheel, and it's also got these kind of 3D chevrons, arrows, whatever you want to call them, on the finger plate, which as far as I know the GPO never used. So this is a clone of a 706, hence the title of tonight's stream. And if we look underneath it there, you should be able to see, if the camera focuses and I can get it in the right light, N1900 E24 something, E245. So it's not an E244, it's an E245, whatever difference that makes. So that is a very interesting green Ericsson. And there's other interesting things in the box as well, because as well as the green Ericsson, there is also a black wall phone. Now okay, it's had a cream or ivory dial bezel fitted badly at some point by somebody, but it's all there. And the thing about this is it's a 711, not a 741, dating from 1968. So as it's from 68, it could have had a blank bezel from new, or it may have originally had an alphanumeric bezel. And for a black wall phone, well, I don't think I've got another. I think I've got one other black wall phone, but and I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I don't know if it's a 711 or a 741. The other one that I've got, I can't tell you. I just don't know what it is. But it's probably a 741 because they were more common. This is a 711, and it may turn out to be right to put a nice alphanumeric bezel on it and change the finger wheel and that, and put it back to original for a nice original black wall phone. So and also in the box, very similar to the green. E245 is an N1900 E241, I believe it is, and this one is a red one. So does the E24 and then the number, I wonder if that number denotes the colour. Now this is a red one, there's just a blue dial plate, so dial bezel rather, just kicking around on the surface of it. So I need a red dial bezel like that with just numbers, but in red. If anybody's got one, I know it's a very long shot because they're probably going to be very rare, those, but if anybody's got one of these dial bezels that looks just like this with just the numbers on but in red, I would be interested in buying it off you if you've got no need for it, because it would fit this phone. Red phones they're not the rarest colour, but they're the most difficult to buy, because in the present day red ones are the most desirable. You know, you can always sell a red phone will always sell. So we've got this one, but again it's got the dial 21, it would seem, because it's got the finger stop with the flat side of it. If that was curved on both sides, it would denote it was a dial 12 probably, but because it's got a flat side, it's a 21. But it has got the metal finger wheel on it. It is stainless steel. They're normally stainless steel through and through, which is why they don't rust. Very nice phone. Tender for being the phone on the desk when it's restored. And we've still got loads of stuff in here. I mean, there's another green 746 up there, and then various other ivory phones. But we'll do more on this when we're on tomorrow. But for now, I'm going to take one of these phones with the sticky cord on and see if we can do something with it. So let's see. Right, other things I will put back in the box, and I've got one more thing to show you as well. But I'll show you it when we get inside. I think that's the worst one for being sticky. So I think even though it's just a bog standard ivory phone, I think we're going to do that because it's the worst one for being sticky. So, and if we can de-stickify the worst one, that means we can de-stickify the others most likely, doesn't it? I've not actually counted these. There should be 20 in total. But pleased to have a topaz yellow one, because I think topaz yellow is probably the rarest colour. I know they say blue is, but I'm not sure about that. That is so evenly discoloured. But trouble is, it's cracked down this corner, it's cracked down that corner. When I do the acetone treatment on the corners, it takes the top layer of plastic off, so it'll take the discoloration off. So I wonder if I could put the discoloration back somehow, because it's so evenly done, that is, that I'd quite like to keep it discoloured. So we will now go back inside. Now, I've got rather a lot to carry, so oh, I found an approved sticker that's fallen off something. British Telecom approved. Put that back in there a minute, and we will shut the van doors. And we'll go back inside. I just need to lock up. And then I'll get back to the chat and see what you've all been saying about this haul of phones. Right, here we go. This is not my shot of me ever, is it? This? Well, there you go. It is what it is. I've just got to shut a gate. Yeah. For those of you interested in the gardening, by the way, things are happening with the gardening at the moment. If we come in here, you'll see we've got things growing. We've got foot-long chili peppers. Not many of them have come up because they're old seed. My famous yellow tomatoes. Again, not many of them have come up. I've set some more of those today because although they were new seed last year, because I always save my seed, not many seem to have actually come up considering the number that I actually put in the tub. So, yeah, I'm a bit disappointed in the number of those that have grown. What I did get a lot of were these bell peppers, California Wonder. I've pricked a load out, which is why there's only half a tub left there. But they're the California Wonder peppers that are here in this little conservatory thing that we've got. And of course, you see, there's all telephone bits and pieces around as well. But I have started clearing out some of the clutter out of here today. But there's always more to clear out. Right, so you've seen that, so I can now come back out of there, shut that door. In fact, I can lock that door now. And we could now go in here. I'm just picking things up again that I've put down, because we can now go in here, but there's not a lot in the way of light. And we'll have a little look at some of the things we've got, including there was something in that batch of things I've not shown you yet. That I will show you in a moment when we get sorted out. Right, so we're going to sort of clean phones up and that in a minute. But for now, let me just switch back to my normal camera. Put the artificial lights on now, and yeah, we'll
a bit more, right?
We'll let you see.
Switching camera back, so
a bit more, right? Switching camera back, so hopefully it'll sort itself out in a minute.
And there we go. We're back. Now I don't know how the audio was in that we've just done, but it may not have been great, so apologies if the audio wasn't great while we were out there. I'll just turn that camera off a minute. Which I have done. Okay, cool. Right, so what has everybody had to say about all these strange phones? Penfold says there was a nice shot of the drop wires going to Andy's house. yeah, that was an unintentional bonus, that, Penfold. He says pressure washer or a dishwasher would be best to clean them. Yeah, but surely not the electronics. Mind you, I have seen people actually wash circuit boards and things, and I think, is that really a good idea? You know, because a lot of these restoration videos on YouTube, some of which I don't think are genuine, and they'll get a ghetto blaster from the banks of a muddy river that's all full of mud and stuff, and the first thing they do is pressure wash the whole thing, and eventually the thing works. But I'm not sure. I have a feeling some of those videos are made backwards. I have a feeling they start with a working ghetto blaster and then dump it in a muddy river and do it backwards. But is it okay to actually wash electrical equipment, provided you dry it out again, obviously, before you plug it in? Is it okay to wash circuit boards? What does everybody think? I'm interested to know what you think on that one. Dominic says some good restoration projects. Penfold, nice to see some green ones. Yeah. Penfold says isopropyl alcohol would be good to clean the sticky off them, and cheap too. Does isopropyl alcohol not melt the plastic though? Dominic says the black 711 sounds interesting. Yeah, it does. Dominic says, are they X-Pain phone dials? The things that look like a dial 21 but with a metal finger wheel. I don't think they are, Dominic, because a payphone dial generally has like a thick perspex cover on the label, and and the nut or the screw that holds the finger wheel on goes right through and holds the label cover on as well, normally on a payphone dial. I've not got one handy at the minute to show you, but I don't think they are. I think they are just a thing that Ericsson had put together, probably just out of bits they'd got laying around. Christopher says the red N1900 phone. This red, I've never seen one. No, I've not seen one until today. Dominic says, do you fancy trying potatoes again? No, Dominic, I've got no room for potatoes now. Where the potatoes, where there's a lawn now. So no, we've got no room for potatoes now, I'm afraid. Right. Next thing we will do then is I will show you the other thing that was in that box. So just bear with me a minute while I go and get it, because I've just left it through here. In that box was this, and this is exactly as I found it. Alright, exactly as I found it. Okay, so let's get a camera on it, because this is an exciting one. So there's the box that I found. It's got a label on the label on the box is quite interesting. I'll show you the label in a minute, but let's take out of the box what's in the box. Easier for it to come out that way, I think, because the box is falling apart. But the box is quite important. I quite want to keep the box for reasons that will come apparent in a bit. Oh, and that's an interesting thing that's just fallen out as well. Now, that has just fallen out of the box. I don't know if that's a red herring, that jumper clip, but I'll put that up there, because as you can see, what we've got here, and I've not even taken it out of the polythene yet, is what appears to be an unissued phone from Telephone Rentals. It's in carrier bags with a safety notice on. To avoid danger of suffocation, keep this wrapper away from babies and children, because it's one of those carrier bags without any holes in. And here is what we've got. Right, I'm going to try and untangle it all, because again it's all got a bit, even though it's been in a box, it has still managed to get tangled up somehow. I'm going to untangle it and put it together, and then I'm going to show you what it is, because it's something very unusual. Ta-da! Now, I know the lighting in here, that kind of looks a bit black, but I promise you that is Concord blue. Slightly discoloured, particularly the case. The case is slightly discoloured. This bezel bit has not discoloured, and the handset doesn't seem to have discoloured at all. But the case has, which is making me wonder if the handset is Diacon. It's an old-fashioned handset. It's not an 8746 type handset. And this is one of the few phones in that box, in fact probably the only phone in that box, that has not got a modern plug on the end of its wire. The wire on this is clean and not sticky. It is a phone for Telephone Rentals. It's got a perfect sticker on the back to tell you it's Telephone Rentals. And I know you're all going, what's underneath? What's underneath? Well, underneath is quite simply a white stick-on label with now this is where the light from this thing swamps it out, so you can't actually see what it says. Perhaps if I do it on the other camera it might work better. Can you read it on that camera? It says 6171-037, and then is it 17/006, and that's all that's on the base. There's nothing else on the base. That's all that's on there. So what I think we have here is a telephone that was made for Telephone Rentals in a colour they were never made for the GPO. So this is genuine, but not a colourway that was ever done for the GPO. This was done by the manufacturer for telephone rentals. And if we look at the box, the label on the box is interesting in itself, because it's got it says on it it's a 7878, and then there's a typo, so is it a 0 or 1 or 2, what is it? One item, it's got that code, which is the same code on the bottom of the phone, quantity 1, description, telephone, blue, K10143F, customer, Tele Rentals, what's it down? What's it? Brinsdown. Customer order 234/36/3692. So this is the box that proves that this phone came from the manufacturer, and we don't know who the manufacturer is at this stage, to telephone rentals. Now in all these codes I was kind of hoping there would be something that would look a bit like a date, and there isn't. At least not that's obviously a date. But there is a code, K10143F, if that means anything to anybody. That's a code that's on the packing label on the box here. So this phone, we think, was made for telephone rentals. Here's the box it came in, and probably never issued. Now, to get a never issued GPO phone is rare. I think I got one. I think I got a grey 746 or something, that I got from a car boot sale in a box, but this is something else, because this is not something that was ever made for the GPO, so must be relatively rare. Now, I have seen oddball colours of these before now, and there's one that sat at the radio station at the minute. It's actually plugged in, that we're using as the telephone there, which is a grey phone, but it's got a blue handset and a blue keypad surround. And I thought the keypad surround was a modern part that somebody had put on, and they just used a blue handset from somewhere. But I'm now starting to wonder if that phone should have been blue and the case just got swapped over, because the guy I got that one off, I seem to remember he had got phones in strange colourways where he got all the bits to make them a proper colour, but he'd swap bits over, generally the cases. And if you think about a grey phone that's got a blue handset and that's blue, then, you know, should it actually all be a blue phone? And it's just had a different case fitted. I don't know. But this is amazing. As far as I can see, this is as it came out of the factory. But what factory? So what we're going to do, I think this phone is going to live in the box. I think this is going to be a classic case, you know, like collectors of toys never take them out of the box. I think this is going to be a classic case of that this is going to live in the box and stay in the box. Because that scrappy old cardboard box, you know, when you're doing things, trying to do things to a museum standard, which is what I try and do here as much as I can, that scrappy old box is a very important part of the story. So I don't think this is ever going to get converted or anything, but what we will do is just take a look inside it, just to see if we get any kind of a clue on the inside as to who the manufacturer is. It's got the proper spring-loaded screw. Case comes off relatively easily because it's a keypad, and what we're looking for is a manufacturer's name. Now, inside it there is a paster on the inside of there, but it is written so small, I don't think we've got a chance of reading it. When I get it up to that camera, it swamps out, doesn't it? But there it is. Right, let's have a little look. Hang on, let's get on a different camera. Let's see if we can read it. Unfortunately, I can't. I still can't read it. I'm going to have to get a magnifying glass to it, I think, to read that. But the idea's there. So, yeah. I mean, inside it's a fairly standard 746 circuit board. Everything is bright and shiny. I mean, look how bright and shiny everything is in there. I've never seen a phone so clean in all my life. And it's got the, I don't know if you can see in there, it's got the single coil bell. Now these were a thing that you got in some 746s very, very late on, and that. Well, this has had it from new, by the looks of things, but it's still wired for the old old 2-drop wire straight to the phone thing. And I can say, because it is of such historic value, this, we're not going to mess with it. We're not going to convert it or anything to mess with it. I would quite like to plug it in though and see if it works, but I might find a way of plugging it in without doing the internal conversion on it. It's interesting because it's got two different types of jumpers. It's got here, it's got jumpers with a rounded edge, and here it's got jumpers with a square edge, and here there's got a square edge. So they were obviously mixed jumpers up. I always try and keep one type of jumper in one phone, because I always figured, well, they'll be all the same sort of jumpers in each phone, won't they? But apparently not. But what is this? Because this is an oddball thing. I don't know what that is in there, what that component is. Can anybody tell me what that is? Other than that, it looks like an ordinary 746 circuit board, but obviously it's got a keypad instead of a dial. But look how shiny this is. I mean, have you ever seen anything like that in your life? It's gobsmacking. So, yeah, I almost think that's worth 80 quid on its own, which is what I paid for this job lot of phones. Yeah, very, very nice phone. Very, very nice. I'm going to put it back together. Very carefully. Put the screw back in by the nice telephone rental sticker. And there we have it. Cannot quite believe my luck with that. You see, some days you do get lucky. Right, what are people saying about it in the chat? Dominic says DTMF 700 phone is very useful now. Yeah, they are, Dominic. It does look very smart in Concorde blue. I'm guessing the GPO never issued it in that colour. No, they never issued a 782 in Concorde blue. It's a totally non-GPO thing. For I didn't know they were made in this colour originally. You know, I know Britphone guy produces parts and that, and I think other people have produced parts in the past in funny colours, but I wasn't aware that that they were made in this colour even. So I'm gobsmacked. Keith says, would you be selling that phone, Andy? I don't tend to sell much of anything these days, Keith. It's more trouble than it's worth. I used to sell phones. I used to refurbish phones and sell them through my local antique centre. But by the time you'd paid for having the stand in the antique centre and all that, you didn't make any money on it. So I gave that up, and now we just have a little bit of income for them from the YouTube videos, and from the good folks who support the channel on Patreon, of course. Wesley says, could you not take a photo of the paster on your phone and try to read it? I'm going to try that, Wesley. The problem is the camera on this phone that I've got, this Unihertz Titan phone that I got some months back, although it's a very nice phone and I like the phone immensely, the camera I find a real letdown on it. And I think what is the letdown is not the camera, but the open camera software in Android. I think the camera's okay, but it's the Android software you have to take the pictures that's the problem, I think. If anybody knows an Android camera app that works nicely, let me know, please. But I will try and take a photo of it and do it that way, yeah. Right. Wesley has said an interesting thing. He said, take note of where the line cord and handset cord are fitted, i.e. which way around they are. Good thinking, Wesley. I like what you say there, because we've always wondered which way around line cord and handset cord should be, and they are the way around you most often find them, actually. So you've got the curly handset cord there and line cord there. So as you look at the back of the phone, line cord's on the left and the handset cord is on the right, and that's as you normally find them, which is silly really, because when you look at the terminals inside the phone, most of the terminals for the handset cord are on this side and most of the terminals for the line cord are on this side. So basically the wires have to cross inside the phone, but that is the way around you most often find them. And I've told this story before about when I used to work in the office at the Tramway Museum at Christ, and I used to pick up a phone, and it was just natural for me to pick it up this way and speak on it, and then if I wanted to pick up a pen I would do this, but I'd still hold it to that ear, and then when I come to put the phone down again I'd put it down with my right hand and put it down like that way round. So it was like that, but of course when you do that, the curly cord and handset cord on the back kind of cross, and the guy that used to look after all the old telephones there, a chap called John Markham, it used to absolutely drive him balmy. He used to come into the office and turn all the handsets around. Very nice guy, and he always kind of did it in jest, but he always turned them around. Yeah, the brilliant John Markham, who used to look after all the old phones at Christ, because the Tramway Museum at Christ used to have a working Strowsy telephone exchange, and it had its own internal phone system that used period telephones. You know, a lot of Bakelite phones were in use there, but there was one particular member of the Christ board called Winston Bond, who I will now name and shame because he's dead now and he can't do nothing about it, who made it his life's work to get a modern telephone system in. And so the old phones at Christ are no more now. They've got a horrible modern system, which I think is an absolute crying shame, because for God's sake it was a museum, and it added to the museum atmosphere, didn't it? So yeah, it's stupid to have got rid of them. But yeah, I mean, we do need a telephone museum in this country. I mean, there are some in America. There are some museums in this country that do a gallant job of having a telephone gallery or something, or part of their museum has a display of telephones in. But there isn't a museum dedicated to telephones that I know of. I mean, there's quite a few at Milton Keynes Museum, and there's the kiosk collection at Avoncroft, isn't there, near Birmingham? But there's not an actual out-and-out telephone museum, as far as I'm aware, in the UK. And we could do with a museum. We could do with the museum of mechanical stuff, because I've got all kinds of mechanical stuff, as you've probably seen if you watch this channel for a long time. It's not just telephones. I've got old stationary engines that I take to rallies. I'm continually buying vintage sewing machines to stop them getting weighed in for scrap. I bought a couple more this week for £5 each, old sewing machines that were going to go to the scrap man, and they're over 100 years old. You know, they should be saved. So I need to open a museum, but it's finding premises that you can afford the upkeep on, and that is very difficult. If anybody can help with that, please do get in touch, because I need a safe haven for all this stuff when I'm gone, as a lot of people do. I mean, I know of people with fantastic telephone collections who have passed away, and the collections have ended up in the skip because family members didn't see any value in them, just thought it was a load of old junk, and it just went with the house clearance people, and the house clearance people chucked it all in the skip. So what I'm saying here is, make a will, leave it to somebody. If you know somebody younger who's interested, leave it to them or do something. But we need a museum, potentially, where stuff can be left. You know, we need a museum where people can bequeath stuff to and know that it's going to be safe. I mean, and it's when you find things like this, you know, who, other than a crazy person like me, is going to go, oh, that's a nice phone, yeah, that's really nice, but also equally important and in need of conservation is this tatty old cardboard box, because this is, in terms of museum storytelling and archiving, probably actually more important than that. So yeah, that's something to think about, isn't it? Anyway, having said that, I'm actually going to try and put this back in its bag, in its box. So we've got 2 bags here, one of which is for the handset. So that drops in there like that. And then there's a bag for the actual phone part itself. So even though this has been in a polythene bag, I know it's not sealed, but it's in a polythene bag, you know, it's almost airtight, perhaps, all its life, the case has still discoloured. Nothing else has, just the case. Interesting. So that's all back in there now. Very tempting to put sellotape on this box, but of course that's not what you want to do. So I'm just going to try and push this back in here, and really, to save this ever getting damaged anymore, this should probably stay in this box and not come out of the box very often, if at all. Because that box is uber important. And then the wire, I've got no idea how the wire was, how the line cord was sort of originally in the box, because it wasn't in the box, it was all sort of sticking out when I got it. But there we go. So I'm gonna put that in the box there like that. And there we have this amazing telephone, which needs to be treated with a certain degree of reverence, I feel. So yeah, where can I put that now? It's not going to get. Put it on top of the printer a minute up there. Right, so that is that. Right, let's just check in with the chat. Dominic says, regarding converting from the modern plug and socket system, says, I seem to remember there's a way of doing most of the conversion in the junction box. Yeah, I think there probably is, Dominic. We'd have to have a think about it. Gambo says, I've got the same phone, Andy, but not a dial bezel to fit over the buttons, as I can't find one. Even bought one from Brick Phone, but was for the other push button phone. Right, do you mean, Gambo, that the one that you bought from Brick Phone hasn't got enough holes in? Or are the holes the wrong size? Because push button phones sometimes have rectangular buttons and sometimes have square buttons. And I've never quite figured out where the difference is. I mean, that one that we've just looked at has got square buttons, but the ones on the windowsill here have got the bigger rectangular buttons. But I think what you probably got from Brick Phone's probably only got 10 holes for 10 buttons, and you need 12 holes for 12 buttons, don't you? Penfold says, regarding the thing on the circuit board, he says, is that a triac? It will be to protect from lightning strikes. They used to be in the master sockets till the internet. It slowed down your speed. Right. Could be, because I do remember seeing something similar in a telephone master socket, so yeah, it could be. Gambo says, I've converted my one, Andy. My phone. Wesley says, gas discharge tubes in master socket, surely Penfold, not a triac. It says, it's possibly a thermistor to prevent bell tinkle. Penfold says, yeah, you might be right. It was a thermistor. Right, Christopher says you could put a junction box on the original line cord and put a BT line on the junction box to test it, Andy. Yes, I could, yeah, and I probably will do that actually, Christopher, at some point. Regarding the Titan phones, Dominic says the camera's a weak point on his Titan Slim as well. Yeah, it's the software, I think, in the camera, Dominic, that's a weak point in them. Because if you have another app that uses the camera, you know, for something else, then the camera works better in other apps rather than in the camera app. And the one I use is Open Camera because it's the only one that seems to be available. And it's nowhere near as good as the camera on my BlackBerry, but on my BlackBerry I used a BlackBerry app for the camera, not Open Camera. So I'm wondering if there's a different camera app that would work better. Keith says, get an iPhone, Andy. Keith, wash your mouth out. I would never, ever, ever have any kind of Apple device. I'll tell you now, I have never owned any device made by Apple because they're simply not compatible with anything else. And they're ridiculously overpriced for what they are. Everything that we do here is open source, freeware, everything is free. All the computers and that both run the radio station and also run this live stream, all the computers run Linux as an operating system. There's no computers anywhere here with Windows on. You know, Microsoft doesn't get a look in here. We're even now de-googling and getting rid of Google. I've got rid of Google Mail in favour of having email on my own web servers and stuff. So yeah, everything is free and open source here, and in the main it works. It all works brilliantly. So yeah, I don't. When it comes time to upgrade a phone, I wouldn't even consider an iPhone. I wouldn't have an iPhone if Apple gave me one. If Apple said to me, "Look, Andy, we'll give you a top of the range, brand new iPhone, just show it in a few videos here and there," I wouldn't use it as my phone. In fact, I wouldn't do it, because it'd be lying. You know, if I endorsed that phone, I'd be lying, because I'd be saying, "Isn't this iPhone fantastic? It's the latest from Apple." And I don't think they are fantastic. I think they're terrible. You can't change the battery in them when the battery dies. You can't plug headphones into them. They're not compatible with anything else. You have to buy everything from Apple, and it's really expensive. So no iPhones for me. Bit of news from Dominic. He says he's forgot to mention that he's passed his driving theory test. Hopefully he'll be driving before too long. Well done, Dominic, for passing the old theory there. Yeah, get your test took, Dominic, because I need to have a trip to Wales again. So yeah, unfortunately I think there's a bit of a wait for the practical driving test at the minute. So you might have a while to wait, I'm afraid, Dominic. Yes. Right. Okie dokie. I've caught up with the chat thing. Oh, hang on. Have I? No, I haven't. Dominic said it's a real shame about the phones at Crouch. It almost puts me off going there. Yeah, it put me off going there. Yeah. And I used to work in the office. This guy, Winston Bond, we used to call him Bonston Wind. He'd been at Cry since the 60s, one of the people from the very, very early days, but he'd become very, very, very theoretical. He actually worked for Cellnet, his day job. He was some kind of office waller at Cellnet. And while I was working at Cryche, he retired from Cellnet. And there was some kind of problem with his pension, and when he retired from Cellnet, he was at Crouch every day, because he got a house quite locally, because he weren't short of money. He got a house quite locally, and he was at Crouch every day, and there was some kind of problem with his pension or something. And I used to be sat there on the switchboard at Crouch, because we had this manual switchboard with all the flicky levers on it, and we used to get these phone calls from this woman at Cellnet. Can I speak to Winston Bond, please? And I'd say, yeah, what's it regarding? And she'd say, oh, it's to do with his pension. You know, I need to speak to him again. And I kind of got more or less on first name terms with this woman. She had to ring up that much over the period of about 4 or 5 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever, and she was getting more and more frustrated at having to keep ringing up and explain stuff to him, and I was getting more and more frustrated at having to put these calls through. That one day she rang up and he wasn't there. So I said, I'm sorry, he's not here today. He said, oh well, I'll try again. And she said, I keep trying all the time, don't I? He said, you must be getting fed up of me now. And I said, no, you're all right. I said, totally fine. I said, but if we had a whip round here, how much would we have to raise for you guys to have him back? And at that point, quick as a flash, she said, more than you can afford, lovey, and put the phone down. So, yeah, that Bonston Wind. But yes, but a lot of the hierarchy at Crouch had that problem. I mean, I don't know what they're like now, because it's a long time since I've been there, but the saying about Crouch, amongst other museums and that, was generally, nice trams, shame about the owners. Keith says you should set up a telephone museum, Andy. You could set it up as a charity. It's all right setting something up as a charity, but you still got to get people to give to it, haven't you? Dominic says, I've heard that you can set up a charitable trust in your will. Yeah, you probably can. You'd have to do it with money though, wouldn't you? You'd have to do some sort of financial backing. Gambo says, regarding the bezel thing for his push button phone, it says the holes are the wrong size. It says mine was square buttons and brick phone was the rectangular 12 buttons. Yes, Gambo. I think the 12 button ones are more common. The rectangular ones, the square ones are rarer, I think, and probably the square ones are not BT ones or not GPO ones. Probably they're something else. Keith says, sorry Andy, I touched the wrong nerve with the iPhone mention. I love things Apple. Yeah, well, I can't deny the stuff does the job, and I can't deny that people who do YouTube videos on iPhones and stuff, the images are stunning, but they're just so expensive for what they are. You know, they're like, buy an iPhone, it's about £1,000. I bought this new and it was like 200. You know, and apart from the camera being a bit dodgy, I mean, it's still usable, the camera. I mean, I've just done all that outside this afternoon on the camera on this, but it's not, you know, apart from the camera, it's a good phone. Christopher says, my iPhone 8 keeps overheating all the time and the camera's not working. It says Apple iPhones are rubbish. So we've got one who loves them and one who hates them. Right, we'll have to put you lot together and you have to fight it out amongst yourselves. But no. I mean, see, I used to have BlackBerry stuff and I thought BlackBerry was good. You know, but you just can't get a BlackBerry phone anymore, which is why I've got this Titan thing. Right, okay, we've caught up in the chat, I think. So, before we go away today, there is one thing left to do, and that is we were going to have a look at the sticky phone, weren't we? So let's have a look at that. Right, let me get it. I had foolishly put this down on the worktop in the kitchen. Just went to pick it up and couldn't. Yeah, to have to stick it from the worktop. It really is that sticky. You'll now, when you see it, you can now see how absolutely filthy it is as well. I am quite tempted to plug it in though and see if it works, because it has got a plug on it. Oh, it's unbelievable. It's a really long cord as well. It's a really long cord. Look how many wraps there are around the phone of it. Maybe it's to save on your phone bills. Maybe you plug it into the business next door and use their phone bill. Maybe that's why it's such a long lead. Oh man, it's bad. I've never been one this bad before. Oh God, it's grotesque. Ugh. Right. Ah, it's horrible. It's like flypaper. Oh. If Boston Wind was still alive, I'd send this to him. A phone that bites back. Right, I've plugged it in. Oh, it's faint. Well, there is a dial tone. Unbelievable, it works. Absolutely unbelievable. I can't believe it works. It's unbelievable. Right, let's dial it and see if it rings. It doesn't seem to ring. It does ring. There's something wrong with the dialing on this phone. It's not. This black phone. I think it's dialing too quick. And that black phone doesn't always dial out the way you'd like it to. Is it doing 9? Something wrong with this black phone now on my desk. Don't know what's up with that. That's not playing the game tonight. Something up with that. Right, black phone, if I plug that now into there. So it's 20. Does it now work? If I plug the grotty phone in where I had the black phone plugged in, does that now work? It does. Alright, so I've plugged the black phone back in where it was originally. Maybe it just needed a bit of a reset by having been pulled out of the socket and put back in again. It does these things every now and again, just a sec. Because these are all theoretically master sockets. Right, I now have a problem in that I can't pull the grotty phone out of this master socket. It won't come out. It's glued itself into the goddamn master socket. Somehow. How the hell has it done that? Right, I've just got to move everything a minute so I can get a bit better access. Thing is, I can't get behind where the socket is. Oh, it's out. That's it. See, it's not got the little thing on the side to hold it in. It was just held in probably by the fact it's sticky. Right, I'm going to put the black phone back in there now, and hopefully we'll be back to working as normal. And it doesn't. Why does that not work then? What on earth is going on there? Right. Plug it in there, though, into a different line and then try it. And it does work, it does throw the relay, relevant relay. Well, if I've got a dodgy master socket there then. Right, so this is 20. Right, so let's now let's see what happens. It's not working at all now. Oh. Oh, it came back to life then, all of a sudden. Oh. Oh, it's the plug. I believe it's the plug on the end of my black wire. I believe that seems to be my problem. On the end, it's the plug I fitted on the end of my black phone that's the problem. And the reason it's probably a problem is because it was very difficult to fit the plug. To the end of the backbone, because I was fitting a modern plug. Something about the dial as well being fully on it. That phone needs a coat of looking at, that black phone. But anyway, that's not what we're supposed to be doing, is it, at the minute? What we're supposed to be doing is this. So, as it's 8:15 already, let's crack on. So, I'm just found stuff down here. I'm wondering what it is. Oh, I know what that is. Right, yes. Right, stuff that under there. Right, let's crack on. So, if I can get up off the floor, because I'm on the blooming floor now. Right. 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 Is the sound better now as well? Hopefully less roaring computer and more of me. Hopefully you can hear now, because I've gone back on the headset as well. Right. Okay. Right. So what we're going to do now is we will try, it says he, to you know, sometimes I wonder if this mic on this headset's working. I don't think it is. I don't think you're getting the sound through this headset today. I think you're getting it from elsewhere. Yeah. I know not. That's better. Right, you're getting the sound through the microphone now, so there should be less whirring and clicking and whizzing and background stuff now. Yeah, just getting the sound now through this, whereas you were getting it from an external mic before. Right, so does that sound better now, as a matter of interest, than it did before? Somebody said the stream has stopped. Has it? Penfold says this would have never happened if you used an iPhone. I'll get you for that, Penfold. I'll send Danger Mouse round to have a strong word. Right.
Has it stopped then, Penfold? That's working now. Yes, Chris says Christopher, which I think means it's better. Right, okay, right, oh, right. We've gone off at some tangents tonight, haven't we? But not to worry. Right. Let's see what we can do about the sticky phone. Oh, it's properly got the proper little springy screw. Oh, it's not going to come off without taking that off though, is it? Right, let's see. Why did I lick that to stick it on? And I can, it's probably just going to be sticky anyway. Because I can't get it. Oh, that's it. Because I can't get it off. Right. Now, let us now remove the screw, the finger wheel. Take that off. And actually inside it is surprisingly clean. Yeah, it's not got that little device there that that push button phone has got. Right, so this is wired for plug and socket because it's got a plug on the end. It's got 2000 ohm bell coils and 16, 17, 18, 19 adjoined, and 4, 5 and 6 adjoined, and stuff. So what we're going to do now is we are going to remove the line cord for now, which is here. Now this has got things the other way round. Look, this has got the line cord on the right, so this is opposite way on this one. So white, red, green, which for some reason I can't quite fathom, is over here with these. And these go to the switch, so green was on there with those. So is that something to do with the earth return? Right, so I must remember that green was over there with those on T10, on T12. And blue is up there where you would normally expect to find it. So now that line cord should be removable, which it is. So I've now taken the line cord off, so I'm going to put the rest of the phone back together quickly now. So, well, stick the rest of it back together. Because all we're working on today is de-stickifying the line cord, basically. So we'll put everything else back. That's rather loose, isn't it? That's better. Put that back in there, put that back on there. Right, I will now go, and what we're going to do is just basically dunk it in a bowl of water. So we will go back onto the mobile camera. You see, because this isn't using the normal camera app, because it's using the Larix Broadcaster app, the camera seems much better when you're using the Broadcaster app. When it comes on stream, like that. Right, you should be on the stream audio now, so the audio will have changed a bit now, but you're on the stream audio, you're on the mobile camera audio now. So where is it? There it is, look. The world's messiest line cord is here on the floor, and all I'm going to do is simply grab it and take it through here, and I'm just going to put you down a minute. Right. Because what we actually need to do now is fill up the kitchen sink. Right. Filling the sink with water, and basically what we're going to do is put a load of fairy liquid in it. And this is this genuinely fairy liquid, or is it Asda? No, it is genuinely fairy liquid. Put quite a bit in. Now they use this for getting the oil off seabirds, so I'm hoping it will de-stickify this cable. So we'll see. We'll have a little look and see what happens. Where can I put this? Where you can see what's going on. Right, I'm hoping you can sort of see the sink there. Right. So, grotty cable. I never got an answer, by the way. Is it okay to wash circuit boards? And we stick all that in there in hot soapy water. And it is quite hot actually. If it's a bit too hot to put my hands in, I'll put a bit of cold in. So there we are. Now that's in hot soapy water. And something's kind of happening already. So I'll let that soak in there. And all we're going to do is soak that in there, and I think this is going to do it, you know. A scoury sort of thing, yeah. Doesn't feel quite as sticky. I'm going to leave that in there soaking, and we'll come back to it next time, and we'll see how we've got on with that. Because it definitely does seem to be doing something. So we'll leave that in there cooking away. Right, that is almost it for this week. We've more or less run out of time. And it's almost it for this series. Of course, we're not on next week. Yeah, we're not on next week, and possibly not on the week after, because I've got a couple of stationary engine rallies. But we will be back the week after that. So 3 weeks today, the live show is back. Yeah, 3 weeks today. But hopefully there might be some other videos to upload in the meantime.
Right, here we are. Right, I'm back on here now. That's better, isn't it? Yeah, that's better. That's more like it. Right, yeah, three week. Which camera am I on now? That one. 3 weeks today. We will hopefully be back. So make that as a note in your diary. But we will be on at some point during the daytime tomorrow. Now I can't tell you exactly when, but it'll be sometime tomorrow during the daytime, possibly tomorrow morning, because of course it's bank holiday Monday tomorrow. So make sure you hit the little bell thing so you get a notification when we're going live. And make sure you subscribe as well, because I have to say that, because all YouTubers have to say that these days, don't they? So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. And yada yada yada. Right, I can swap this out now. I mean, you see, it's fine. Look, well, you can't really see it, but the camera is fine on this when you're not using the camera app, when you're using something else. Yeah, it's weird. That is. It's a bit strange. Right. Okay, that is almost as far as we go for today, as I say. But let's have a little look here. Oh, it says chat disconnected. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. Successfully connected, so it did drop out then. Chris says, Andy, the stream stopped. But it's come back again. Gambo says, the stream stopped when you went to unplug the black phone, but it's back on. Oh, I wonder if that did something strange to it. Miguel says, works fine now. Right. Gambo says, I chucked the case in the water as well, Andy. Yeah, I think I will eventually, Gambo. I'm just trying the cord for now. But yeah, obviously it does all need doing. Gambo says, "We'll look out for you all tomorrow." Yeah, we'll hopefully be around at some point during the daytime tomorrow. Like I say, watch out for getting a notification. Make sure you've got the little belly thing ticked. But yeah, the case of this phone does need doing. Obviously, I mean, it's a little grotty, shall we say. In fact, everything's grotty. My hands are grotty and everything, just from touching them. This is interesting because it seems that this button is backwards. These buttons have got a slope on them, and this is sloping towards the front, and I thought it should be sloping towards the back to match that slope there. Can anybody tell me which way should the top of these buttons slope? Should they slope with the phone towards the back, or should it slope towards the front? I've got no idea. I think it's just sloped towards the back, and that's in backwards. So this phone's probably been messed with, which is why the curly cord and the line cord are the opposite way around to what you would expect to find them. So yeah, I mean, yeah, just look at the state of it. I mean, it is a relatively modern one though, because it's got one of those in it. So yeah, modern. Have we got a date on here? 83-1 on the insert there. So yeah, that goes along with the rest of the phone. So yeah, this incredibly grotty phone does need a bit of a clean up. We will leave this one here as a project, and next time we're on, you'll hopefully see it nice and clean. But the other phones that we got as part of this deal, hopefully you'll be seeing more about them tomorrow when we have a closer look at those on the Easter live stream tomorrow. So Andy's shed at Easter. Hey, what more could you wish for? It's better than a chocolate egg, isn't it? So hopefully we will be back tomorrow. But until then, have a fantastic evening. And if we don't catch you tomorrow, have a fantastic week ahead and that. And we will see you next time we're on. Remember, the Sunday night stream back in 3 weeks' time. So not on next week, not the week after, but hopefully 3 weeks. 3 weeks' time. And in 2 weeks' time, I'm at a place called Parsley Hay to Stationary Engine Rally. I may try and do a live stream from there, but it's in the middle of nowhere, and I might not have a phone signal. So if I've not got a phone signal, obviously we'll not do it. But I may try that in a couple of weeks' time if we possibly can. But like I say, we're back in 3 weeks, I believe. Just let me double check my diary. What are we now? 9th? Yeah, not next week, not week after. Yeah, 3 weeks' time, which makes it Sunday, the 30th of April, for another Andy's Shed Live. But as I say, try and tune in tomorrow. We will be live from the radio station tomorrow, and I'm hoping that we will be able to simulcast with PVR tomorrow. So if you've been waiting for the radio station to start and find out what it's going to sound like, hopefully when we do the live stream tomorrow, for at least part of it, we will be giving you a link that you'll be able to go to. You'll be able to open a window on this link and hopefully listen via PVR. So that's exciting, isn't it? With PVR, of course, being the radio station. So we'll be back tomorrow for all sorts of Easter goodness, coming to you live from Plesley Vale tomorrow. So have a fantastic evening. What's left of it, I'll just check up on what's going on in the chat. Everybody's saying we'll look out for you tomorrow. Gambo says, oh, that day, he says, it's Celtic Rangers semi-final for the Scottish Cup. I may be drunk by then. You're probably better to watch this drunk anyway, to be honest with you, Gambo. So I wouldn't overly worry about it. Right, anyway, that is it from me for now. I am going to, well, wash my hands before I do anything else. I'm totally sticky. And we'll see how that light cord turns out as well. Right, until next time, have a fantastic one. And if you get any sticky telephones, don't call me. See you soon. Bye for now.